Chaotically Nerdy is a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. On this week's episode is me, Tyler.
And me, Jarrett.
And me, Ethan.
And hi, I'm back. It's Ashley.
And hi.
And hi, I'm back.
I thought that's where you were going to leave
No.
that. Was and hi.
I'm not that big of an
And
asshole.
back, I'm high.
Well, let's. I'm not currently.
Not right. Not right now, no.
Not currently.
Yeah, no.
I don't even have any weed.
No, you don't. We didn't go to the dispensary.
We didn't.
No.
We suck.
Well, I'm not getting high.
No, but
Unless
I
it's contact.
am.
In that case.
I'm just in the other room shouting contact like I'm in a fucking airplane. Contact! I would have to be high at that point. It's okay. We had a friend over, and she was high with Ashley. This is just marijuana, but I mean, she hit real hard apparently.
Well, hold on. I can explain the whole story.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
It was laced with fentanyl.
We had a very no. It's dispensary shit. We don't fuck around with the.
Figured not.
Yeah, she works in a dispensary, but she packed the bowl really, really high, and she's notorious for breaking glass, so she didn't want to tap out the bowl itself. And I was like, don't worry, I got it, and I tapped it out, and I got all of the ash out, and she hit it like there was still like a good inch of ash. And I was like, oh my God, you're gonna die. She coughed for literally an hour, and I laughed so hard at her. I felt so bad.
Didn't you say she was like...
She was coughing up demons, is what she was saying.
Yeah. Well, she was like saluting at one point. She's never been in the military.
Like, this is
Well,
it. I'm going down with the ship.
She was playing that one song, too. I don't remember the name of it. The,
My country, 'tis of thee.
no.
Tommy Boy?
No, it's the...
The Star Spangled Banner.
The Southern... The Southern Salute one.
She was playing Dixie?
I think so.
I thought about
don't
the
know.
Toby Keith song.
She was... No. We went straight.
I'm proud to be an American.
No, I was thinking of the courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
America.
It's like
Fuck
it's
it.
like listening to this.
No, it wasn't that one. It was the one. I don't remember the words to it either. I know the song. I could hear it playing in my head. I just don't know the words to it. I'll look it up.
You played it for me. I don't remember
did.
it now.
She did.
I've slept since then.
Okay, let's get on to the episode. So this week we're going to talk about The Boy and the Heron, which is a Studio Ghibli movie that just came out very recently. I think it was in theaters in 2023, and now it's on Max. It's available now. You can go watch it if you have Max. I think we have audio now.
The Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Oh, okay.
What?
Sounds like something from Star Wars.
That's immediately what I thought, too.
No,
It's
it's
not.
not.
But that,
It's
you can't
very
tell me
much
that
not.
name does not sound like a
Yeah.
title track from Star Wars.
I knew
soundtrack.
the name of the song. I was hearing the music in my head. I just could not remember the name of it. Anyways, back to The Boy and the Heron. Sorry.
Back to The Boy and the Heron. Noteworthy voice actors.
There's a lot.
There's really not, though. Like, there's a lot of high name actors, but there's not a lot of voice actors.
Now, there are
general.
a lot of common voice actors between this and other Ghibli projects.
Is there?
A lot of other... If you're talking the English dub,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know about the Japanese original.
I can only think of two
big names?
that are like common.
No, there's several on there that are from other ones.
They must be ones I
They're just
Well,
not
like-
they're just not as famous.
Like Christian Bale's one.
Yeah,
Christian Bale is
Mark
definitely
Hamill.
Because he plays the dad, Mark
Willem
Hamill.
Dafoe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Has he been in
Yeah, he
other-
was in one. I forgot. About
Yeah.
that. He's literally in there for like a handful of lines.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
He plays the pelican.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The Noble Pelican.
It's a pelican.
No, it's literally titled
I know, he's
The Noble
he's
Pelican.
titled Noble Pelican, but he's just a pelican.
The
Pelicans are
Heron?
buttholes.
No,
The Pelican. Yeah, the Pelican. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he plays. It's literally titled as the
The one
Noble
that, like,
Pelican.
kill me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's talking about how they used to be noble creatures.
Yeah, that's right.
until they were brought there. That's
Pelicans are not noble creatures.
I
Pelicans
agree
have
with
never
that.
been noble.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. But and then Robert
Noble.
Pattinson is fantastic in this.
Yeah.
You could have told me 100 times, like had I not looked it up and known who it was and everything like that, you could have told me it's Robert Pattinson, and I would have never believed you.
Yeah, it's like almost impossible to distinguish him.
I could have lost thousands of dollars on that.
I'm not sure who did like recorded and applied the voiceovers for this, but there's been a lot of them in the past that have been done by Pixar, which should make sense because it is really well done. Yeah, and because Pixar always does a good job with it.
I was just pulling up to see who did it, if I could see it on this, because I'm on behind the voice actors.
Yeah.
I don't really see.
What company?
Yeah, it says that the voice production was NYAV Post.
It probably isn't
So-
Pixar anymore then.
I don't know who that is or what they have, but there's also Karen Fukuhara,
Karen Fukuhara.
Florence Pugh. There's a lot of big names.
Pugh.
That's pretty common for Ghibli movies.
Is it?
They're very, very,
Yes.
very common.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that brings me on to the next point. What's your former experience with Studio Ghibli? Roll the dice. Roll the dice, fancy lady.
2.
That's me. I have none. This is literally the first Studio
Is it
Ghibli.
really?
Yeah, I tried to watch. I can't remember if it was Howl's Moving Castle or there's another one that's on Max.
I love Howl's
Spirited
Moving
Away.
Castle.
I think it may
Actually,
have been.
there's a lot of them on Max.
I know. I seen
There's
that there
quite a
was a
few.
lot,
Princess
but there was
Mononoke.
either
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
Spirited Away.
it was either Spirited Away
Princess
or
Mononoke.
Howl's Moving Castle. It was one of those two that I tried to watch, got a little into it, and then was like,
Howl's
I need
Moving
to do it.
Castle is about a girl named Sophie who works in a hatter shop and pisses off the Witch of the Waste because Howl has her attention.
I did not get that far into it.
Okay.
I'll be 100% honest.
I love Howl's Moving Castle. That's the only reason I ask. Ready?
Yep.
6.
Me?
Yeah.
Nebby?
I've watched, I think I've watched all the Studio Ghibli movies at least 8 times apiece.
Even this
Yeah.
one?
And there's a lot of them I've watched
not this
probably
one.
at least 15 to 20 times apiece.
told me to
Outside of
watch-
this one.
You said you told me this video I watched twice.
This one I've only seen twice.
I mean-
once in theater and once online.
When you came up to visit me in New York, didn't we watch Howl's Moving Castle?
We watched Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only like Ghibli experience that I personally have, and I know that you want to watch Mononoke and Spirited Away and all of them with me, and I'm perfectly
just about any
okay
chance I
with
can
that.
get. Yeah, I'll watch them.
How about you, Jarrett?
Much like Tyler,
You're a
almost zero. I've probably watched like 10 to 15 minutes of most of the ones that they showed on Toonami, which was like Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke. I'd get in like 15 minutes and be like, and
then a
this is
commercial would
boring.
show up and you'd
yeah,
be like,
a commercial. I'd be like, change the channel, never come back.
It's
Can
not.
can I recommend to both you and Jarrett, Tyler and Jarrett, that you do in fact watch more Studio Ghibli and like actually give it a good go, because Ghibli films are fantastic from what I understand, and my only experience, like I said, is with Howl's Moving Castle. It is a good movie. It is a very, very good movie, and I'm very excited to watch the rest with you.
If you're looking for ones that have more, this has adult themes in it because it's about death.
Oh, I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I let my kids
That's
watch
pretty
it.
typical, honestly.
A
Yeah.
lot of Ghibli films.
And not all of them are done by Miyazaki either. So like there's some really good ones. Princess Mononoke is a really good one with some adult themes in it, like death.
Howl's Moving Castle is the entire theory on war.
Yeah. Yeah. And see,
Something about the animation the kids loved because they sat there and was just engrossed in it.
Good.
and then let's see,
Spirited Away.
Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind is about it's a post-apocalyptic hellscape that it's about us being really shitty to the environment, which is another common theme in Studio Ghibli movies.
Yep. Mhm.
It's very common. Princess Mononoke is also, it's in there too. Studio Ghibli is about
Adult
living in
themes.
reality.
It's kind of like how Bluey is set up, where it's an adult experience that is
But it's animated.
catered to kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that has like prostitution and all sorts of weird shit in it. Yeah. Yeah. Cannibalism. I mean, it's,
Dang.
yeah. That's why I like it.
It's the cannibalism.
It's the cannibalism.
I was gonna say it.
And I got to watch the rest of it and see if I can find it.
I'm going to be 100% honest. Some things can just go unsaid. Ethan liking cannibalism at this point, I feel like it's one of those things that doesn't need to be said.
Now there are a couple others that are a little bit more childish. My Neighbor Totoro, though it does have adult themes in there, which is more along the lines of this child got lost, and we can't find her, and it could be a bit traumatic for people who have had that experience. I understand, but at the same time, it's really more for children. And then Ponyo, which is my least favorite Ghibli movie. It's about obsession from many points of view.
Gotcha.
And it's also really more for children. But if you're really looking for a meaning in a theme like that, it's got it in there too. But
Gotcha.
There's one other one from Ghibli that is it's not for. I think it's from Ghibli anyway, but it's not for children at all. It's The Graveyard of the Firefly.
I don't know. I was going through the collection this morning and I didn't see it, so it must be a digital one.
Were you looking through Ghibli or are you looking through?
I was looking through all of our DVDs and Blu-rays.
We don't own it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, we
Then
don't own it.
Then
Is
no.
it Grave of the Fireflies or Graveyard?
I think it's either Grave or Graveyard of the Fireflies.
I think
And
it's the Grave
It
of the
is
Fireyard.
extremely
Grave
dark.
of the Fireflies.
And it's based off of I don't know if it's
That
Ghibli. Is it Ghibli?
I don't know. I just was trying to show you a clip to see. Does that look like it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. It is not for children. It is about these kids during the firebombing of Tokyo during World War II that escape, and no one else they know escapes.
I mean, just from the animation,
So it's basically the
side
Chronicles
of
of
it.
Narnia
I'll
without
tell
the
you it is.
wardrobe.
it looks exactly
Yeah.
like a Ghibli.
Yeah.
It is. It is. If you guys didn't hear
it's
me,
really dark.
It's
The
essentially
direct-
the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe without the wardrobe.
Little fun fact: the director is the person that the great uncle is based on
Yes.
in this movie.
Yes.
Oh,
He just recently died
interesting.
within the last handful of years.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But the Graveyard of the Fireflies is based on a real story.
Oh,
Yep.
Could you explain the mojito thing?
okay. So
Anyway,
anime. I assume Jarrett knows where I'm going with
yes,
this.
I had this same experience. I don't like him.
Yeah, the kid's name is Maito, and there's a character in Jujutsu Kaisen whose name is Maito, and I have attached that character to that name from now on,
name was-
and I hate that character because he's a dick.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I immediately did not like this kid, unfortunately. Next, the boy. So this part confused me until a little bit later in the movie, and then it kind of made a little bit more sense. Whenever he meets the new mom, because his original mom burned up in the fire.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Ghibli.
It's not.
It happens in
Yeah.
very early in the movie.
Oh yeah, it's like
not a
the
spoiler.
first thing
Yeah,
you
it's
see.
not a spoiler.
They meet his new mom, and he makes a comment about how she looks just like his old mom, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, last time I seen you, you were a baby," and I immediately thought it was like his sister who got shipped off somewhere,
Nope.
which was even worse because I was like, "That's weird." After she said she was pregnant,
Mom, sister.
yeah, then find out it's his aunt.
Yeah.
The reason I thought sister for a little bit is because they're in they're eating at one point, and she's like, "Yeah, our mother did this," and the way that she said "our mother" made it sound like it was hers and the boys, but really it was
Hers and his sisters.
Yes, the original mom,
His grandmother.
which I also think is funny because the dad's like,
You know what it made me think of? The Patriot. Same thing. The same thing happens in there.
"Yeah,
I'm like, this is fucking weird.
yep."
Could you explain the rock to the head thing?
Oh, the kid after he gets moved they move him out of Japan. And
Out of Japan, out of Tokyo.
Out of
Was it
Tokyo.
Tokyo?
Yeah.
Sorry,
They moved him out to
Tokyo.
the countryside. Of
sorry,
Japan.
thought it said Japan.
Geography is not his strong
No.
suit.
Listening's not either. The kid's like at school, picks up a rock and tries to kill himself. Essentially,
He does not.
he hit himself pretty damn
I don't
hard.
think he's trying to kill himself.
I don't know what he's trying to
I
do, but
really don't think he's trying to kill
Then
himself. He
what's,
might be, but
what's your theory on what he was doing then?
I think he was. Well, I think what it was he was getting bullied at school, and he was beat up, and he looked beat up, and he wanted to make another excuse, so he hit himself in the head with a rock.
How about you?
To
What's your
hide
theory?
the bullying.
Trying to kill himself.
It was I think it was to hide the bullying.
Okay.
Could be.
I just somehow missed the bullying part then. I mean, I'm not saying it.
I mean, literally, it shows him at school.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember him
So
being
when he's leaving school, he's walking along what looks like a sort of levee, I guess. He's walking the levee between farms, right? And these kids are out there, and they come up to him and start talking to him, and he pushes one away from him. The kid tackles him on the ground. You can see him fighting, and then it just kind of clips
Cut
off
scene.
to him walking home.
Oh, I
he's beat
missed
up.
that then entirely.
I just thought he was trying to kill himself because he got bullied.
I mean,
I thought. Well, see, I thought
could
it
be.
was.
It could be.
they're
Yeah.
they're
I
all
didn't think it
reasonable
was because he got
theories.
bullied. I thought it was because
Either
for
way,
a good chunk of this,
self-harmed.
Yes.
yeah, for a good chunk of this, he like the Heron's definitely. Whenever it talks to him and stuff like that, it's like he slept at one point and he said something about "I'll see you again soon, Mom" or something to that effect. So that's why I thought it was like a "go be where she's at" type thing.
Yeah, he almost did kill himself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, from
That
what
was
was
a lot
going
of
on
blood.
with him, it looked like he cracked his skull.
Oh, yeah.
So
Got fucked up.
I looked and I was like, God, because the kids were still awake, and I was like, fuck, don't look, so bad. It's like I didn't know it would do this.
Like I don't want them to go outside and pick up a rock and just smash their head.
Smash each other
Yeah.
with it.
And then at one point,
What the fuck?
the boy is talking to the Heron, which was fucking creepy as shit too, because that's when you start seeing like the teeth and whatnot. Because it's
When
almost,
his human head, or not human,
It's
his
starting to, like,
other
come
head comes
out.
out of.
yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't like this.
welcome to Ghibli.
Well, before I
Ghibli
knew what was
movies.
happening,
Yeah.
you see like the teeth, and then there's like a
Well, I thought it was
nose.
dentures. I'm like, why is that?
Yeah,
guy
I was like, what the fuck is going on with this fucking hair?
bird
Yeah.
has dentures.
Yeah, welcome to Studio Ghibli films.
And then Aunt Mom comes out and
Yeah, hey, Mom.
Shoots an arrow.
shoots an arrow over
Like
the
an
boy.
anime hero?
Over
Yeah.
him. I'm like, that's such what? No, don't
I
do
also
that.
said to him, I'm like, how? Because apparently somehow she didn't know he was over there, or she was trying to scare the Heron away. I guess.
Yeah, she was trying to get the Heron away from him. I
But the
think
way-
she knows about the Heron because
Maybe
she's been to that place before.
Because the grannies are so short, but the grannies were like, "Where are you? Where?" And I was like, "Can she not fucking see him and just fire an arrow?"
It's possible.
Okay, so I have a question. What does the Heron represent? What is the
liar.
Heron representative of?
A liar.
What does the Heron do?
He
What
basically is a guide to the
Other world.
other world, I guess.
So originally, it seems like it's death. It's just strictly death.
Okay.
What it might represent, I guess you could say that, because they're all very like metaphorical
Yeah.
stories, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it might be death. It's hard to say because in the end, it's a liar. So it could just be personal misconceptions about reality.
Okay.
It could be representing the Heron. Could be representing it, I guess, because he trails it along for like the rest of the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just there like gawking at what he's trying to do. So it could be representative of that. Yes.
Like in the latter half of the movie, he's trying to help him go home.
Well, yeah, because the guy told him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, but it's
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could be true because our perceptions of reality as children could then help us in later life as well, I guess. So you could, if you're gonna look at it in a more metaphorical sense, you could take it that way. Yes.
Okay. Is that what you guys also think about the Heron?
I mean,
I don't think they look at things so metaphorically.
I did
No,
not.
I don't. Seeing as
no.
you have the most experience with Studio Ghibli and you understand how Studio Ghibli films are set up, I knew that you were going to be the one to answer, but I just didn't.
They're
know if
really
they
set
had
up
an
in
opinion.
in an interesting way where you can take things metaphorically, or you can just take them as the story that they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, either way is a perfectly fine way to look at the movie. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I
just
kind
didn't
of
know
took
if you
it
guys
as
had
it is because I was kind of waiting on it to explain what the like whole tower thing and where they went whenever they went in type deal was.
I just took it as like Japanese, like mythology, folklore type shit, where it's like a spirit or a demon.
Japanese mythology is metaphorical.
metaphorical a lot
Yeah.
of the time. Yeah.
But I was like, I didn't ask questions. I was like, yeah, it's like a spirit or something that's guiding him towards like
Yeah.
some sort of resolution with his mother's death or something.
It is. That's
Yeah.
what the whole movie's
It
about.
is.
Yeah. I've already said this. I would have never guessed that was Battinson. What? You don't like that I wrote that?
Battinson is my problem.
Yeah.
Well, Batfleck, Battinson.
His name is Shovelface. He's kind of concave.
I know
face.
you don't like him.
His name is Cedric Diggory, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
Old Setty boy.
It's my son. my boy.
It's so bad that it has such a grip on us that
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
just can derail everything.
It's a generational thing.
yeah.
Too, like,
Oh, it absolutely is.
Where were you when Cedric Diggory died?
At home watching the movie.
So the quote that you have written down is, "All of those who seek my knowledge shall die."
So after Mahito first gets into the new world, whatever you want to call it, he sees this grave, and it stuck out to me because everybody dies. Like, I get it because it's saying don't go in here.
Yeah.
It's basically a big do not enter sign, but
Yeah.
at the same time, everybody dies.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like a dumb quote to me.
It just
Could
seemed-
be
it just
bad
seemed-
translation as well.
It
Yeah.
could that's true too.
It just seemed like kind of ominous to me. I was like, oh.
Well, that's what it's supposed to
Yeah.
seem. Of like, don't go in here.
Then the question is what is the knowledge that's being sought?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So much so that it's killing people.
Well, then the knowledge would be probably for the context of where it's happening, because it's happening
Like outside a graveyard,
outside of a graveyard. The knowledge is what happens after death.
probably.
Is probably what it's inferring.
Gotcha.
Then greedy damn pelicans. Because they send up, the Warawara get to fly after they've killed a fish. There's a whole fucking subsection of shit that happens there. But then those pelicans are just, they're fucking eating all of them. Like, there wasn't going to be any of them make it, I don't think. If his mom didn't
Yeah,
show
no,
up.
that's kind of what the noble pelican, as you call him, implies. Is
That's
that
As you
literally,
call him.
it's literally
I love the
what
shade
it's
that you're
called.
throwing, Jarrett.
it's
Look,
I
motherfucker.
No, I know.
Look at it.
I looked at IMDb.
Look at it.
It's the same on
No,
IMDb.
he
It's just
he
a
sees
dumb-
it. He just rejects your reality and tells
No,
you
it's
to
just
fuck off.
that's why I'm like he's no different than the only
I-
difference is he has
100%.
a speaking line.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
But I think it's because he says something about how noble they were.
Yeah, but like we went over.
When
it.
have pelicans ever been noble?
That's what I
that's-
said.
I-
We went over
They're
this. Unless
little
it's like some sort of
assholes.
Unless it's a-
Japanese like reverence thing. Like I have never known anyone to describe a pelican as a noble creature.
No. Pelicans
Most
are
of the time
usually
I see them gagging on a fish that's too big.
most of the time
Which is
people
saying
refer
something.
to them as rude, dinosaur buttholes, or some semblance thereof. Pelicans are really rude. Have you ever seen a
Just
pelican up
dinosaur
close?
buttholes is.
Listen,
I never thought about them.
big fat buttholes.
God damn it. So I put great uncle question mark because that's who Mahito meets. Like he meets Mark Hamill, who's the great uncle.
Yeah.
Was that because I know they showed someone going in a long time ago.
Yes.
That's just he's been there ever since, right? Okay. I confused me because I was like, well, who was building? Because the whole thing is he wants someone to replace him to build the blocks and
Yeah,
keep the world going and things like that. But who did it before then?
But it's implied that the tower, that the grannies say this, like the tower just like appeared in their backyard,
Yeah, it fell from the sky.
fell from the sky, and he went into it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that's when the reality was created,
Okay.
because they talk about him bringing in the pelicans and the parakeets and
Yeah.
all this other stuff.
That's also why whenever they leave, the parakeets leave, they're no longer.
Well, they just leave because they go through the door.
Well, I know that's what I mean. Like once they go out the door, they're no longer
The
human-sized parakeets.
yeah,
They're
the dire parakeets.
yeah, they're just normal parakeets shitting all over the place. That is one thing I noticed.
I laughed every time they like flew out when they flew out.
It's
over
like they
his dad.
hadn't shit
Yeah.
in 7 years.
I'm like, is this just a thing?
And then as soon as they come out in the real world, everywhere.
Like, I know-
Well, no, the
birds
amount
shit
of the
everywhere.
amount of shit didn't change when they transformed into regular parakeets, so it just squeezed out.
That makes
like
sense.
what they do with baby chickens before they package them up to send them places.
Just squeezing like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
That's yucky.
I also put tough blocks to build with because
There's a ball.
there's a fucking ball in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
He just got good fucking stacking skills. He's just bouncing a
I mean,
ball,
he did it.
a pyramid
it
block
worked.
on top of a ball.
when someone's balancing reality with their mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that could be considered very similar.
I mean, it goes hand in hand with the metaphor thing too.
Which
A little
metaphor?
bit. The whole metaphorical thing. What the fuck are you laughing at?
You read 2 lines down. You didn't read
No,
the
we're
next.
on the tough blocks. I read the. I read the.
You
next
read the
one.
next
yeah,
one?
that
Okay.
just made me laugh because I was like, no, absolutely not. I did not think that.
You didn't think that?
No.
You didn't think. Okay, so Aunt Mom goes into. She goes into the world because she's pregnant. She's going to have another baby. I just assumed it was a backup successor when Mahito said no.
I did not think about that, but it's funny. Then he's just like, I'll
Did
kidnap
you
my great
think that?
granddaughter.
I had no idea what was going on with that.
With the mom going in there to have it?
I didn't know. I mean, the only thing I can think of for why the mom was even going in there in the first place, the aunt mom,
Yeah.
was going in there in the first place, was to lead Mahito in to the tower.
I thought maybe
Yeah, but
she just wanted to see
she
her
starts-
sister.
I agree with that.
Maybe.
Like, that's a
But that's the
possibility.
only thing I was like, I
But
don't
that's
know.
the thing, too, is she specifically tells him at the start of the movie, don't go near it, don't go in it, yada, yada, yada. Like, they have that whole conversation.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well,
Yeah.
she could also have been slightly,
Manipulated.
either
is true.
manipulated or she could have also been going through
I have a question.
weird pregnancy things.
I have a question. Does she
Pregnancy
make it out of the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she come out alive?
Yes.
Does the child come with her?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well,
yeah, you
th-
see the
it's not
child.
been born yet.
Yeah,
right?
it's an unborn child.
She's still pregnant. She went in there to have the baby, essentially.
Yeah.
Does she come out with the baby
Yeah.
in her
No,
arms?
No.
she comes out still
No.
pregnant.
Still pregnant.
Okay,
You
interesting.
see, you only see the baby at the very end of the movie, and it's like a toddler.
Yeah, because it's been like 2 years after they get back out. And then I put, damn it, Dave.
Batista.
Yeah, because he fucks up that whole blocks. He just chops the building blocks of the world. He just chops them in half.
Perfectly chopped him in half, by the way.
Perfectly,
Directly in the
yeah,
middle.
perfectly Batista, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
See,
this shit.
That was a good choice for that character,
Yeah.
too.
It was.
I thought it worked really well,
It did.
voice-wise. Yeah.
And then he gets out. He takes a block with him, which then causes was the Heron out at that point? Yeah, he was.
Yes,
he came out
they
too.
talk about it because he takes the
Because he's like, "Did you take anything?" And he takes
doll
the.
of the granny and then the half of the block, and he's like, "Uh-oh,
Yeah.
you gotta remember."
He's like, "Hopefully that doesn't fuck up anything in the real world."
So here's the actual question of what this world is. It's the Feywild.
Basically.
Have you
you
ever? I mean, well, see, to me, it's very similar to we played Myst, right?
It's a bunch.
So in Myst, like this guy creates these books that contain
The
stories
fucking book.
about these worlds, and these worlds create a different reality because he's found some sort of magic that does this, and
Which was kind of how this
inside
said.
of the books,
Yeah.
and this is very similar
'Cause basically, like, if you
kind of
build your-
similar an idea,
Yeah.
it's like a little micro universe inside of this tower.
Which also makes it odd because the uncle was like, if you build your own set of blocks, you'll create your own world. And that's what he wants him there. He doesn't want him there to even continue the one he's building. He just wants him there to build a new one, which is odd to me. So then after Mahito gets back, they kind of cut and they say 2 years later, and then it shows Mahito upstairs getting ready, and they're like, all right, come on, Mahito, let's go. And then it pans to them standing at the bottom of the stairs, the aunt, mom, dad, and new baby brother, and then it just cuts.
Welcome to Studio Ghibli.
Is that how they end
Welcome.
most of their films?
Well,
like a
it's
very-
because he storyboards differently than most things.
It's just a
So
very like it's like, oh yeah, and then they go back to their life in the city.
because all he does is really he comes up with a general idea of what he wants the story to be. If I'm remembering correctly from the documentary I watched about him, was generally speaking he creates the story that he really wants it to be, and then he doesn't storyboard it until he's actually making the slides.
Gotcha.
And he actually just draws them out in order as he wants them. So he doesn't actually just say,
This is going to happen in the
This-
story. He
yeah.
he does it as he's going along.
he makes up the story as he's going. He has like a general idea, and then he makes up the blocks as they go.
Gotcha.
So if you were to this is pretty normal for Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
There's a resolution, and that's all he really wants to tell.
Yeah, it just
so
felt-
why keep going?
It just felt odd to me that they even cut to show the kid. To me, it could have ended after the Heron being like, oh, well, hopefully nothing else bad
You
happens.
didn't watch
and-
Mushishi either.
No. I don't
Okay,
know.
it's very similar.
Is it?
Yeah, they do these kind of like resolutions, and then there's like a little bit of. Then they'll do these like little bit of. Here's a little bit later on, or
Yeah.
here's something that
A
happened a
follow-up
little bit
of, like-
earlier.
Yeah, so that way
that
you-
gives you a little bit of like relief, not just resolution, but a little bit relief, saying, "Oh, well, life went back to normal."
Yeah. That's literally what I always just took it as. Like, oh, and then they went back, because he's narrating over. He's like, and we went back to Tokyo.
Yeah. And that's literally the end of it, is them showing them
You're like,
leaving
oh,
that
yeah.
house.
That's pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just felt odd after the cut for 2 years later, and then you get 20 more seconds, and then another cut. Now we get to move on to the ratings, unless there's anything else.
Do you have any questions about it since you haven't watched it yet?
No, you guys have been really, really good actually about explaining the movie and like the content within the movie. It's making me want to watch it.
Did we spoil it too much?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I'm going to brain dump all of this in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
He said, "I'll bring up this as soon as the new one, the new
Pretty
red
much.
light shows up,
Yeah.
and it's gone."
Pretty
Brain
much.
dump.
Well, listen, I grew up with a whole group of friends, male friends, so that is common with all y'all. Just brain dump as soon as you're done with something.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You're really pretty.
Thank you. You're also really pretty.
I know.
The only thing I wanted to talk about.
Sorry, that one caught me off guard for a second. I don't know why. It just
The other thing I want to talk about was the basis of this film, which is based off of his life. Why did I think my brain dump? I forgot his name.
Mojito?
No, the guy who makes all the Ghibli movies.
Miyazaki?
Miyazaki. My brain.
Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, it's based off of his real life to a degree,
To a degree.
because he was born in the middle of World War II,
Gotcha.
left during the Reconstruction, and the great uncle / the Heron was like based off of, like I told earlier, the director of
the other
Crave of the Fireflies, who was just also like the lead animator at Studio Ghibli, and died in the middle of making this movie,
Gotcha.
which is kind of why like the first half and the second half is kind of like different, like different tonally.
Yeah.
Like where the first half is very much like serious, like somber, and the second half is a little bit more like, I would assume, normal Ghibli movie, like where it's like more like adventure.
To be fair, I feel like, at least for Howl's Moving Castle, it starts out really pretty and kind of non-aggressive, and then as you get towards the end, the tone of the movie completely changes and it gets really dark really quick.
Another really typical thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
For Ghibli movies.
It's just with The Boy and the Heron, it's
And
opposite.
very quick resolutions at the end on a lot of them.
But
Oh, yeah.
the whole reason it's that he said it switches because he changed the story. Like as Ethan said, it makes sense if he does do it like that, storyboard by storyboard. The story changed halfway through it because the lead animator died, who was like his mentor.
Which, if you do watch the rest of them, you'll like, especially some of the older ones like Nausicaa or Porco Rosso,
I'm not laughing at that.
You're
I'm
a
laughing.
child.
No. I'm laughing at Nausicaa because my brain went to Zenitsu, and I immediately wanted to go Nezuko
yeah.
to be an asshole.
Hey,
I held it back until somebody pointed out that I was giggling to myself.
anyway, you'll notice that
Don't
is
blame me, fucker.
those are even more like the really harsh transitions between story type, and there's a lot of really kind of random stuff sometimes that happens. It's kind of strange, but the stories are good, and
Absolutely.
the animation is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Akira is old, but the animation is still interesting to watch. Yeah, it's like that.
Sophie turns into an old woman in
Yeah.
this. They do it really, really well too. The way that all of the Ghibli films, like scenes that I have seen outside of Howl's Moving Castle, they're all really, really well done, and like really, really well done. For like age, for scenery, for everything. Everything is absolutely beautiful in every single Ghibli film. So I can imagine that this movie was also very pretty.
They don't do any of the weird, typical things you see in the
animes.
manga style of anime. Like with anime eyes, like when they're doing all bullshit senpai crap, and they don't do that type of thing at all. They're trying to stay into a realm that's semi-realism. So
I'm actually going to jump in, if you guys don't mind, and I'll roll the dice for each of you. I want you to explain your favorite scene.
Okay.
Okay.
3.
Jared.
Me.
I'm glad it was him because I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss.
Bitches, I'm putting you on spot.
I'm trying to think.
I would say. What would I give? I don't know if it's my favorite. It's the one that made me laugh, which is the first time the parakeets come out the door into the real world.
And he's covered in shit.
And the dad, who Christian Bale plays, just gets covered in shit. It made me laugh. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was just the one I was just like, what the fuck?
I would like to point out for a solid second, all 3 of you had a really, really concerned, like, distanced look.
Oh,
like,
yeah, because we were all sitting here trying to remember the entire movie.
Ready?
No, but
4.
it's Ethan.
Me, mostly because it's very Hayao Miyazaki esque. Was when he first arrives into the other world and he's on this island. There's all there's like storm clouds and all these ships in the distance. That was really pretty scene for one. For two, that's just very Hayao Miyazaki. He loves ships, sails, aircrafts, anything like that he can put into a thing. He typically does.
The way that you're describing that scene reminds me of when Sophie and what's his face, the little boy, Markle, are in the field at the edge of the lake, and there's like a whole bunch of storm clouds. And
very similar kind of vibe to it.
I know what you're talking about. How about you?
Mine's so like the first time we see the heron, he kind of flies in, like just the way it's animated looks gorgeous to me because he flies in like really close to them and then goes back to the pond and just kind of slowly lands and drags his feet a little bit. It was very well animated to me.
Gotcha.
From an animation standpoint, I don't like Jarrett said, the parakeets coming out shitting all over the place was probably the most memorable because it was funny, but I can't really think of any that were too standoutish as far as story wise for me.
Gotcha. I was just curious. I know that on the previous episode that we recorded, I was asking you guys what your favorite scene and settings were, and it's the same thing for at least Studio Ghibli because I know that you have a lot more experience, but I do have some. Going into a Studio Ghibli film, I know that it's going to be beautiful. I know that it is going to have a really, really good story and a really good,
and the animation quality is high.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Studio Ghibli film that was not pretty.
And it followed. Like, it, a lot of times animation will drop at some point because that's where they're cutting corners and things like that.
There's only one spot I can think of where it does.
Where?
It's the first time he goes to the triangle tunnel.
Yeah.
He's walking away from the camera. It's very low frame rate.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut frames.
Yeah.
It stood out to me very deliberately. I was like, it didn't look good. I was like, why did you cut frames here?
All right.
It could have been the digital transfer.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it was very like it's his cloak or whatever his robe.
Yeah. It could have also been intentional to make it look like he was moving through some sort of like dimensional.
Yeah.
Possible.
But I was like, I didn't like it.
No,
I was like,
there's some times where it doesn't come through correctly.
Especially because the entire rest of the film is, I didn't notice anywhere else that there was any sort of frame rate dropping.
Okay. I guess if that's the case, I've asked your favorite scenes from the movie. What is your least favorite part about the movie?
Oh, I said mine. It's the fucking teeth. Like whenever he's first talking to Mahito and he's like the teeth are starting to come out.
So your teeth and you're the frame rate drop.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. What about you? Is there another one that you didn't?
No.
No? Okay. I just kind of jumped and assumed.
It's hard to say. I mean, there's things that aren't the best about it, but I mean, like the parakeets are weird. Entertaining, but weird. Probably on the island, but it has nothing to do with the visuals. It's just a weird story thing with the pelicans like attacking him and pushing him through.
Yeah, why did they push
it? Didn't
him
make
through?
any sense. It's like another one of those weird storyboard things that he did when he was making it and just kind of kept going. And it's a weird choice. It doesn't make any sense.
It was literally just there to push him through the gate.
I didn't think that. I was like, why? I'm like, why? Like you could just fly over the gate. like the pelicans.
They also-
why are
Well,
pushing?
they were saying they were trying to eat him.
Yeah.
So
They
like,
also had like the
have to
water
eat.
people that they never did. They showed for like 2 minutes and
Yeah.
they never did anything with.
I must have missed the water people.
Okay, so when they're on the island and then she gets him on the boat, and then they catch that fish.
Yeah.
They take that fish to the other island that's made up of the giant boat that looks like it's made out of stone. When they first get there, there's a bunch of like watery, inky, like looking people.
I remember there's like the boats on like the horizon that she's like, that's like the dead.
So there's the little puffy things that are like
The
kind
war.
of kawaii, right?
War.
They're kind of cute and puffy. And then there's like these like watery people standing around too.
Must have missed that. I must have been like looking down at my phone or something and missed that.
They're on the other boats that are around that boat.
Was it fantasy football?
No, I was probably just like, I have this bad problem where I'll just like, if it's not interesting to me, I'll look at my phone until I hear something
It
that
just
perks my interest.
like they touched on it, like they showed them. They
I remember the
didn't really-
boats that are like out, like further out. That's what's her name?
No.
Kiriko.
Not
Is it
yeah.
Kiriko?
They said that it's dead people.
Yeah,
Right.
that,
Okay.
but I don't remember.
No, when after they catch the fish and they're going to the island, there's some other boats that kind of flank them as they're going in, and there's a bunch of like weird watery people.
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you think the weird watery people would have been interesting for you to watch further, or do you think it's just one of those one-off weird things that were kind of added and been forgotten about? Or do you think it would have
why
added
not?
to the story?
I don't think it would have added to the story as it is. I think it would have been better if they just left them out, but at the same time, it also gives the world a little depth. But it was just really weird choice to put in there.
It's almost like there's no payoff for it in
No.
here, so it's like why
Why did you do it in the first place?
And I paid off for the little puffy cloud things, the wada wada. But I mean, but the water people seem kind of pointless and led to like very slight questions in mind. Like, why?
Why?
Yeah,
Why can't the pelicans eat the water people?
the pelicans was a much more like strange issue because it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. With pelicans, like in general.
Why do we pick pelicans? Why not seagulls? I mean, seagulls are notorious
such a
assholes.
sky-
They're, they're sea bagels.
Sea bagels.
Sky rats.
So now we're going to go on to the ratings. It's got a 97% tomato meter with 267 reviews, which we know they don't rate a whole lot of animes on there. Probably because this is a movie is why.
Yeah. I was gonna say yeah.
Some of them like won't even get rated at all.
I was gonna say it's probably only Ghibli fans that
Yeah.
rating.
And then it's an 88% popcorn meter with 1,000 plus reviews. The IMDb is a 7.5 out of 10 with 67,000 reviews and a 91 Metascore with 55 critics. Ashley, you want to roll? We'll tell our ratings.
Absolutely. 2.
That's me. I will give it a just 7.5. I'm right with the other people. It's a very good film. It's not really my cup of tea as far as the story, but I liked it. I'm not mad that I watched it. It's not like I'm going to go seek it out and watch it again.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would multiple times. Only because I like Studio Ghibli films, but that's me. 3.
Sure.
I will agree with Tyler. 7.5. It just the first half it was kind of boring to me. Kind of just it didn't grab me. I was like, it picked up a little bit towards the back half, but it's not enough for me to be like, I love this movie.
Yeah,
But I'm like, it's beautifully animated.
it is.
Voice acting's superb, but I wouldn't watch it again.
How about you, babe?
You didn't roll.
He's
There
been
we go.
particular
All right.
where he has to have it.
So
You're a pain in my ass.
even though I like
He's
Studio
your
Ghibli,
pain.
and I like this movie, I think it's a good movie. I would still probably rate it 7.8.
Okay.
It's by no means my favorite Ghibli movie.
No. What is your favorite Ghibli movie?
Princess Mononoke, by a long shot.
What's your second favorite?
I love that you can just hear the shuffling of papers
That's
as
why,
we
that's why
throw
I kept
away.
talking.
My second
We chuck
favorite,
them in the corner.
just for the way that they did the animation in it. It's a really pretty movie. Probably Whisper of the Heart
Okay.
is a really good one. But it's not really, there's no action in it at all. There's also some really weird stuff in the middle. Like dream stuff that gets kind of strange. But
Dreams get weird, so.
Been there, done that.
yeah, it's still really good.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
Nausicaa is definitely probably tied with that for second.
Gotcha.
It's a good story, and it also has Patrick Stewart in it.
Oh.
And Shia LaBeouf. Weird.
It's an odd pick.
No, checks out with Ethan though.
LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal, Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, yes.
What's both? Patrick Stewart. So.
All right, so that will wrap up the Boy and the Heron episode. Use the link in the description and tell us your favorite. Go to our Discord and then tell us your favorite Studio Ghibli. I lost the word Studio Ghibli for some reason. Like, I was trying to say it, couldn't find it. And find all our other stuff there. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.